Section 3, where we're going to talk about some of my favorite topics, which are advanced offer tactics. Now, it's specifically tactics. Without a good strategy behind it, these aren't necessarily going to work. But if you have a strategy that can use these, here's how to do some of these really cool things. So we're going to start by learning how to create a one-click upsell. And a one-click upsell it's exactly what it sounds like. After you make an order, you present people with an offer. Hey, do you want to add this on? And with the click of a mouse, boom, they can basically buy more things from you. And you can boost that average order value. And it doesn't cost you anything other than the setup time. Plus, whatever it is to fulfill on whatever you're upselling them. But it's a fantastic way to, again, grow average order value and also grow lifetime customer value too. So once we've learned how to do that, we're going to look at an extension to that idea, which is where we create a one-click upsell downsell chain. So the idea is that you present somebody with an upsell, and if they accept it, then you can present them with another upsell. So maybe you sell them a $7 thing, and then you upsell them on a $97 thing, and then maybe you say, hey, you know what, buy my $1,000 whatever. You can do that with one click. You can also provide different offers if they decline. So if they say, you know what, no thanks, I'm not interested in that $97 thing, you can say, okay, well, hey, no problem. Would you like to get another one of these $7 things? So again, these are all tactics to automatically boost that order value. And I'm intentionally saying thing because, again, it's just a tactic to sell a thing. It has to strategically make sense for you. And then we're going to close with something that I know a lot of internet marketers love, which is that evergreen sales funnel with an expiring offer. So the idea is that as somebody goes through it, they're presented with a limited time offer, and then after that time, they can't redeem it anymore. And it happens like that for everybody, no matter when they sign up. It's evergreen. And so we're going to explore how to do that natively inside Infusionsoft. So if any of these things sound really cool and you want to learn about them,
in this video, we're going to look at creating a one-click upsell. An easy way to boost revenue is to present another offer immediately after a successful purchase. When we allow that additional purchase to be made with a single click, it capitalizes on the excitement and momentum of their previous purchase. Having the customer submit another form would introduce unnecessary friction. There's a certain order of operations to it. So in this video, we're going to create a payment plan first, then create an action set to generate the upsell product order, and finally connect it all within a campaign. And once this is done, we'll connect the one-click upsell to the order form. And so that's specifically what we're going to look at. Creating an action set, creating a campaign for the action set, and then connecting an order form to it. So before we proceed, we're assuming four things. We're assuming that you have your merchant account set up. We're assuming you already have an order form created that you want to put an upsell product on. We're assuming you already have a product created for the upsell offering. And then the fourth thing we're assuming is there's a web page somewhere for customers that decline the upsell. So assuming those four things, let's go ahead. First thing we're going to do is hover over the navigation and go to Ecommerce Setup. In the payment section, we're going to go to Payment Plans. And then on the upper right, we're going to add a payment plan. We'll give it a name to denote that it's for one-click upsells. We're not going to do a finance charge. And as far as scheduling, it's one payment, 0 days until start. And we want to make sure we're selecting the merchant account that we want to go ahead and use. We even have the option to override that if we want to use this one every single time. Once we've saved the payment plan, we need to go ahead and add some criteria to this so it doesn't show up everywhere. We're going to add a date range criteria for some time in the past. This prevents this payment plan from showing up on order forms in the shopping cart. Now that we've created our payment plan, we can go create the action set for the upsell product. So hovering over the main nav in the marketing column, we're going to go to, on the left side over here, we're going to go to our action sets. And in the upper right corner, let's add an action set. So we're going to give this a name. And then under the actions drop down, at the very bottom, there is create an order. Next to the bundle drop down, click save this action so we can customize the order details. Now we can select the upsell product that we're going to be selling. So for this example, we're selling the cookbook. We're trying to upsell people into some tutorials, similar to this video you're watching right now. And then we add it to the order. And it'll show up down here either under products or subscriptions depending on what you selected. Under the pay plan ID here, you need to select the payment plan we just created, the one-click sale. Technically, this is how the merchant account is chosen for auto-processing the order. We want to make sure we're auto-charging this order, and then we can hit save. So now that we've saved this action, we're going to hit save one more time to save the action set itself. So now we can actually go into a campaign. For this, we need a new landing page. And a sequence. Okay. This is going to be the thank you page of an order form upon successful order. So we got to make sure we let the people know, hey, your order was successful, because they're going to see this right away. And then we have whatever copy we want that's selling them on the upsell product. The only field we need on this form is a hidden email field. And we want to make sure that this is blank, because we're going to be passing that from the order form to this landing page. So the call to action is the acceptance of the upsell offer, and that's what's going to create the order. If they do not want to take the order or the upsell offer, we're going to want to make sure that we have a link here that's pointing to the decline page. So whatever that may be. Just some message that says, hey, your order was successful and you're only going to get whatever you ordered. Something like that. The main takeaway is you need a hidden email field, and submission of the landing page is them wanting the order product, the upsell product. On the thank you page, we're confirming successful order. And in this example, they're going to be getting a name and an email to something, but this can obviously be whatever you want. So at this point, we can go ahead and double check our settings. We want to make sure that this is auto-populating when Infusionsoft sends somebody here. So at this point, our upsell page is ready to go, and we can move this from draft to ready. In the connected sequence here, we're going to go down to the processes, and we're going to grab a legacy action set here. We'll double click it and grab the action set that we created earlier, which I believe was Cookbook Upsell. And it's always good to let Infusionsoft know why we're still using legacy, and we cannot create an order. All right. At this point, we can mark this sequence as ready. And now at this point, we would publish the campaign to mark the landing page as ready to go. Once we've published the landing page, we're going to want to go back into it and go to the Code tab and grab the URL. So this exact URL. Then what we need to do is go to the order form that is going to be introducing the upsell offer. So this is an order form, selling the cookbook. On the thank you page, we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the drop down from thank you page to web address. Here is where we're going to paste in the landing page URL and pass the contact information to the thank you page. And now as soon as we hit save, this is now configured. So when a customer successfully places an order using the order form, they are going to be taken to the landing page, which presents the one-click offering. The hidden field on the landing page is being pre-populated because we're passing it from the order form's thank you page. If they accept the offer, also known as submitting the landing page, Infusionsoft will create another order for the upsell product. So remember, we're creating an order for a product. You want to make sure to include any other fulfillment steps in here as well. So for example, for the tutorials, I probably want to add them to Customer Hub so they get a username and a password, tag them with the appropriate access, and then I can go ahead and send them their credentials, just for example. Now, I'll say it again, but it happened earlier in the video. It's important to know. If we do not select a payment plan while setting up this action set, Infusionsoft doesn't know which merchant account to auto-charge while creating the order. And if this happens, the order will be created and the payment will have to be collected manually at a later time. It's important to understand that orders created via an action set do not charge immediately, but rather they run in batches every 6 hours or so. If we need to control access or fulfillment based on a successful payment, we can create a billing automation trigger that applies a tag to advance the campaign. So this is what the model can look like. And then of course, once we have the successful billing, then we can go ahead and grant access. In which case, we would not have these steps in this sequence, but rather they would live in this sequence.